In India, dogs are everywhere. They're part of the landscape, part of the community, but there's a dark shadow that hangs over this relationship between humans and dogs, and it's a deadly one: rabies. So today we're going to get into India's incredibly complex war on this virus, a fight that puts public safety right up against a deep cultural connection to man's best friend.
Let's just start with a number, because this one really tells you everything you need to know about the scale of this crisis. 20,000. That's the estimated number of people who die from rabies in India every single year. I mean, it's just a staggering figure, especially for a disease that's completely preventable.
And to put that 20,000 number into a global perspective, get this: 36%. That is India's slice of all human rabies deaths in the entire world. Over a third of the planet's rabies burden is right there, and it's all tied up with the country's huge population of free-roaming dogs.
Which brings us to this massive, baffling question. We know rabies is 100% preventable. We have the vaccines. We know how to handle it. So how on earth is it still a national crisis in India? Well, the answer, as you'll see, is a tangled mess of science, society, and politics.
First, we have to understand that this crisis isn't just about a virus, it's social. It's about people. The whole issue of stray dogs has basically split Indian society right down the middle.
And those calls aren't just noise. They're turning into actual political demands. Things like getting compensation for bite victims, fining people who feed stray dogs, demanding a proper dog census and vaccination plan. There's even talk of changing the national animal birth control rules. It's a major push for more control and for someone to be held accountable.
You know, this whole debate really boils down to two very different ways of thinking. On one hand, you have the eradication approach, which basically means culling or removing dogs. But here's the thing, that often backfires. New, unvaccinated dogs just move into the empty territory. Then you have the management approach, which the World Health Organization recommends. This one focuses on sterilization and vaccination, or what's called ABCRV. And that has been proven to be the only real long-term solution.
Okay, so we've seen the social debate, the human side of this. Now let's switch gears and dig into the science. Because if we want to find a solution, we first have to really understand the enemy we're dealing with. So what exactly is rabies? It's a virus. It attacks the central nervous system, and it's passed through the saliva of an infected animal, usually from a bite. And here's the absolutely critical fact. Once clinical symptoms appear, it is pretty much 100% fatal. There is no cure. The way the virus works is, well, it's pretty sinister. After a bite, it starts a journey from the wound, traveling up through the nerves until it reaches the brain and the spinal cord. Once it's there, it multiplies like crazy. That's what triggers the symptoms, and eventually death. This is why getting medical help immediately after any bite is just non-negotiable.
So how do you fight a virus like this on a massive scale?
The strategy that's accepted globally is called the One Health approach. It's this core idea that human health is directly connected to the health of animals and our environment. You can't solve the human problem without solving the dog problem. It's all one big ecosystem.
And the key to solving the dog problem lies in a concept you've probably heard of: herd immunity. Now, this doesn't mean you have to find and vaccinate every single dog out there, not at all. You just need to vaccinate a big enough chunk of the population to basically build a firewall against the disease, breaking the chain of transmission and protecting the whole group.
So what's the magic number? How many dogs do you need to vaccinate to build that firewall? Well, the science and the WHO, they all point to this critical target: 70%. If you can get 70% of the dogs in an area vaccinated, you effectively starve the virus. You eliminate it.
Okay, so 70% is the theory. It sounds great on a slide, but does it actually work in the real world, on the chaotic streets of India? For the answer to that, we have to look at the state of Goa, because what they did there is a perfect blueprint for success.
In Goa, this amazing campaign called Mission Rabies teamed up with the state government, and they decided to put this whole mass vaccination theory to the ultimate test across the entire state.
And the results, they were just stunning. So the campaign kicks off in 2013. By 2017, they hit an estimated 71.7% vaccination coverage, just over that critical 70% mark. And the effect was almost immediate. Starting in 2018, Goa began reporting zero human deaths from rabies.
4. Let that sink in for a minute. For 4 consecutive years, a state that was once just as affected by rabies as the rest of India recorded absolutely no human deaths from the disease. It's a massive, undeniable proof that this can be done.
So, if we have this incredible, proven blueprint from Goa, the obvious next question is, what is India doing on a national level? Are they trying to replicate this success and finally end this crisis for good?
The short answer is yes, there is an official strategy. You've got the Animal Welfare Board of India, and they're the ones leading the charge, responsible for rolling out the National Animal Birth Control and Anti-Rabies Vaccination Program.
And this isn't just a vague idea. It's all laid out in the National Action Plan for Dog-Mediated Rabies Elimination. The goal couldn't be clearer: eliminate rabies in India by 2030. The strategy? Mass dog vaccination and public awareness, run through the National Rabies Control Program.
And look, this isn't just talk. They're actually putting serious money behind it. This table shows official government data. The central funding approved for animal anti-rabies vaccines has skyrocketed from around 213 lakh rupees in 2020-21 all the way up to a proposed 956 lakh in 2024-25. The resources are clearly being allocated.
So this is where we'll leave it. India has a national plan with a hard deadline. It has a proven, real-world blueprint from Goa that shows exactly how to win this war. And it's allocating more and more money to get it done. All the pieces of the puzzle seem to be on the table, which leaves us with one final, crucial question. What's going to stop it? Or better yet, what will it finally take to put all those pieces together and make a rabies-free future a reality?